So there's a lot of theories going around about what the storyline of Avengers Doomsday is going to be. So I found the most explainable and best theory to share with you. But take it with a grain of salt because I just flew in from Stupid Town, but at the same time, stick with me because I'm cooking with some sauce. So to start the movie out, I think Thor and Doom are going to clash. And you know what I think? I think Thor is going to die. I think Thor is going to die right at the start. Just kidding, I don't actually think he's going to die, but I think he's going to get the second worst thing, which is losing his powers. Now, whether it's from Doom or an incursion, I'm not really sure, but I know he's probably going to lose his powers. And this leads us to our next thing. In the Thunderbolts post-credit scene, we see the Thunderbolts talking about how there's a space event going down, and then they show the Fantastic Four flying towards their planet. And I think this is going to be how they explain having two different casts of characters combined into one. And to make it even more complicated on top of that, X-Men, Avengers, and the Fantastic Four are from 3 different Earths. So either there's a triple incursion happening, or Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four separately figured out how to interdimensionally travel. Which, if you were to go with that path, you would have to explain Doctor Doom wanting to cause incursions or something like that, and then the Fantastic Four trying to stop them, so they end up following him to this Earth. Which I don't think is happening really, because I think they are just gonna reintroduce the X-Men in the Earth 616 and not have all the Xavier School stuff going on. Which is much more boring and not as fun, but I think with Spider-Man Brand New Day having, spoiler warning, Jean Grey in there and stuff like that. So I think they're just going to reintroduce them as non-mainstream heroes. As well as it would be super confusing if they made a triple incursion happen the first time we see it in the MCU. So I think they're going to try to stay away from that. And before we move on, because it's very confusing, let's explain incursions. It's very simple when you think about it. It's simply where 2 realities combine into each other and their planets essentially collide and explode. Obviously, until the people on those planets can figure out how to restabilize their realities. Really big potato stuff. Now moving on to the less confusing stuff, I'm going to try to explain the fighting. Now what I think is going down is Doom is doing some back-end mischievous moving and trying to convince and persuade the X-Men that the people, aka the Avengers, that are coming to their planet are really bad guys. But I think all of this will switch up later on when Doom sends out Sentinels onto the X-Men, causing them to switch up on Doom, leading to the final fight. And moving on, we have incursions. I think they're going to be the main cause and effect of this film, mainly because all the post-credit scenes are mainly about the incursions, and I just think it's the best way they can possibly wrap everything together and make everything make sense. So it only makes sense for this movie to explain everything and make sure everyone knows what incursions are, and pretty much to settle it in as a normal thing to happen in the MCU. And it might also be important because it might blow up the entire planet that we live on and the other planets that are involved in the incursion. But who really cares? And pause, hold on. Things got way unconfusing. Let's make things really confusing again. Now, this may be a bit of a stretch, but there is a reality where there are duplicate characters of characters that are already existing. For example, Steve Rogers. They show off Steve Rogers as returning. He has shaved beard, shaved hair, very short hair. He's looking at the suit. But in the trailer, we see Steve Rogers wearing all black, not his suit. His beard is grown out and long hair. I think it would be fun if they made Tony Stark Doom. This also would make sense with one of the posters we saw being a woman and a child, and a lot of people are saying this could be his wife and kid. Although when I first saw it, I instantly thought that's him and his mom, but it could still be his wife and kid, and it'd just be a little bit different backstory from the original. Now for Cap, there isn't really much you can do with him. I would love to see him as Nomad, but again, that would be a bit of a stretch and just would be easier if we just made it Captain America, but he's not wearing the suit anymore. And now for the ending. After a long fight of dread, misery, and doom, our heroes rise for one last fight, and with a sudden turn of tide, Doom releases his final strike, causing the Incersion to destroy half of each reality, fusing them into one, sending Doomsday into a half cliffhanger with the realities getting destroyed and leading into Secret Wars, as well as setting up for Battle World and God Emperor Doom, which I personally really want to see. So did I cook? Comment what you think, and please correct me on anything I said that was inaccurate, and like, sub, bye-bye.